Get this on the Triple M network.
With myself, Tony Martin. Oh, very nice. He's just trying to cheer us up. It's Richard Marsden on the button. Nicely done, Richard. And of course, Ian Cavalier's here.
That's a bit gay.
Hey, come
All right,
on.
Mitchell.
Sorry.
Down at Patterson Lakes Primary School FM. Constantly stirring us. What is the time in most states? I know, obviously, Adelaide, lagging behind somewhat.
Yeah.
Well, so far ahead.
It's about 2:15 in most states.
Okay.
This press release will have gone out. Get this, is winding up at the end of the year. Now, obviously we'll be talking about why over the course of the next 6 weeks.
I thought you might.
But let's just begin with the actual press release. Triple M has decided to concentrate its resources on building its suite of breakfast shows around the country next year.
Mm-hmm.
And as a consequence, it's not renewing its contract with Get This. Now, this is like, we're not bitter about it. It's fair enough. We do spend a lot of time talking about Steven Seagal. Very little time talking about Thirsty Merc. Let's not deny it.
I think if you went back through the tapes, there's a lot of Merc talk.
But what's going on with the breakfast shows? Peter Hellier. What sort of demands is he making?
Well, I don't know. They must be drawing a lot of water, I guess.
I see.
I'm a bit worried that perhaps my brand of poison chalice has...
Yeah.
Blown up in your face.
Came to
Okay,
the show, 'cause-
I'm just thinking off the top of my head here. I've just realised we're going to have to get another gig.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we're going to have to find somewhere to do this show. I've been in the radio industry for a while.
You have, Tone.
Chuck over that phone.
Okay, this one here.
And I know someone who might be able to give us a gig. Obviously, it's on a rival network, but just dial that number
This one here.
and let's see what
Who are we calling?
if we can scam ourselves up another shift. Here we go. Okay, here we go.
Good morning, this is Mitchell from Patterson Lakes Primary.
Is that Mitchell, who's on the Patterson Lakes Primary School radio station?
Yes, it is.
This is Tony, Ed and Richard from Triple M's Get This here.
Hello.
Hi, Mitchell.
Hi, Mitchell.
Hey, guess what's happened?
John Howard's called an election?
Yes, well, that is true.
It is true he's called an election, but there's bigger news. We've all been given the arse from Triple M. It's not that funny.
Sorry.
Richard's going to have to move into a dump master.
Yeah, I've white-handed myself.
Obviously, we're on the market for a radio job now. Are there any vacancies out there at PLPS?
No, sorry, we need good quality workers here.
Oh, come on. We can at least impersonate good quality workers.
I'm sorry, no jobs.
Mitchell, just hang on a second. Let me have a chance here. Red House, put your bins out. How was that?
Well, Red House didn't actually do their bins.
Okay.
So that's an unnecessary announcement now.
So that's...
Yes.
Okay, what about the hot seat? We had Greg Fleet on our hot seat last week. You know who that is, don't you?
No.
Well, who have you had on yours?
John Howard.
John Howard.
Yeah, that guy. Come on, there must be some job there we can do.
Do janitors, maybe? Be a janitor?
Is that an on-air position?
No, sorry.
Right, but what about a Black Thunder? Do you have a car that drives around the suburbs giving away exercise books or something? What do you have there?
Oh, Mr. Zudi does that.
Mr. Doody?
It's a duty.
Our principal.
Principal Doody? That can't be his name, surely.
Yeah, it is.
Principal Doody?
Well, can we speak to Vice Principal Wee Wee then, please?
You see, this is the top quality gear that can be coming out of your speakers if you just give us a gig.
All the jobs are filled.
What sort of music are you playing?
Good music.
Like what?
Contemporary.
Okay, well hey,
Contemporary.
all right, Mitchell, what about REO Speedwagon? Do you know about them? I mean, I've got all their CDs.
Oh, I've never heard of them. They must be pretty bad.
What about Journey? Have you heard of Journey?
Who are they?
Okay.
ELO.
Never heard of them.
Right, there we are.
What is the station catchphrase at the moment?
Pato PS School of Rock, where famous people speak.
Well, Richard's famous. He does community television in the mornings. Is that enough?
Oh, that's not famous.
Well, what about this janitor position, this custodial position? Is there any way we can work our way up? Maybe do a few free mid-dawns? That kind of thing. Some work around the offices.
Are you prepared to work 10 years?
That could be fast-tracked to 8, Richard.
Behind
if you
the
put in,
Maybe you can wash Mr. Zudi's car.
all right, we'll wash the duty off. We'll take care of that. Don't you worry.
Have you had any famous people yet on your show?
I mentioned Greg Fleet, didn't I? I said Greg Fleet.
Oh, I've never heard of him. He can't be famous.
You don't know who he is?
No.
He does, however, want to know if you can loan him $20. I will just say that. Okay, well, obviously, we've got to make a few more calls. There's other school radio stations who are kind of clamouring.
Here's our final position, Mitchell. Tell me if this is acceptable. Richard will clean the toilets. Tony does duty's car, washing the duty off duty. And I've got a shift where I do 7 hours on air a day where it's just me talking, no music.
No, I can do the 7-hour shift.
You know what, Mitchell? That's a bit gay. Oh, there, I said it.
Yep, I
I'm
agree.
doing my line again.
No, that's extremely gay. I have to say that's very gay. Richard, would you agree?
I would say that's very, very gay.
Gay as.
Gay ass.
Extraordinarily.
All right, thanks, Mitchell.
Thanks for nothing, Mitchell.
Anytime.
Jeez,
Give me a...
Well, we went on a bit long. You know, operational reasons. That's the reason that's just come through.
Unbelievable.
Look, for the next 6 weeks, it is your chance to empty out the bottom of our barrel. If there's anything we've done over the last 2 years you want to hear for one final time, 133353 is the number to call.
And I'm looking forward very much to the next 6 weeks.
Oh, I bet he is.
Oh,
He'd be
man.
very happy with this decision.
Look at him go.
How are you going, guys? Are you coping all right? We only found out on Friday that we're being shown the door at the end of the year. But I have to say, normally they don't tell you till after the end of the year's finished.
Yeah, so this is good. We get
to say goodbye to our listeners in the correct way with dodgy comedy sketches from the vaults.
Also some promises, Tone.
Is that the correct way?
Some promises.
Well, it's an election campaign, Tone. as you know. Now,
Yeah,
what's-
that's obviously lesser news. We were going to get to that eventually.
Well, eventually, but let's just bring it up a little bit now, because what's the problem? The problem is that people say that now they think John Howard is untrustworthy. You know, he said a lot of things, but they don't think they can trust Labor
That's right.
to deliver on economic policy, etc., etc.
Promises being distributed left, right, and centre.
Well, that made me have a good hard look at myself over the weekend.
Yeah,
And I
sure.
didn't like what I saw, Richard. You know, I saw blackness. I saw ugliness. Here are some of the promises I've made over the past 2 years that for the next 6 weeks, I guarantee I'm going to fulfill, Tone.
You guarantee, because this is your last chance to
This is
actually
my last
come
chance.
good.
Yeah, with all of the things I said I'd do. The Shaft of Hope Film Festival. Sure, films about the Beaconsfield mine disaster might seem out of touch.
Well, where's the real one? You know, I would have thought the one with Craig McLaughlin and a surfboard bobbing down the mines would have been on by now.
But I'm going to do something, all right? That's all I can say.
Right.
You're going to do something.
Yeah. God is my witness.
That's a hell of a
I'm
promise.
going to do something.
So you're going to put together an entire film festival.
Yes.
Okay.
The Get This Power ballad. That's been sizzled
That's
for
been-
over 2 years.
We
Dave-
had Dave Graney
I know.
contribute lyrics to that thing.
I didn't understand his rhyme scheme. There's an online magazine. Remember
Yeah,
that?
that
Called
was
Get
fine.
That.
That's right. The crap night out. What happened to
I'm going to write that down, Tone. I forgot
Yeah,
about
maybe
that.
that was the problem the first time.
Crap night out. Well, you got to go. I don't even remember how it went, but I'll look that up. The Birdman rally, even
Oh,
if
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just me with the cereal boxes.
Well, we were going to do the Birdie Gras, the gay Birdman rally.
Gay Birdman.
Glamorous floats driving off a jetty, if you remember.
All right. Well, it's just I haven't thought this through. Do a show from a Hessian sack.
Yeah.
That's fine. No problem.
We've received a lot of Hessian sacks over the last few
And
weeks,
thank
I
you
should
all
say.
so much. Be someone's formal date. I'm pretty sure school formals are finished, haven't
Yes.
they?
Yes.
But I'm sure there's some kind of university ball.
And I think we worked out also that there was an element of there was the creep factor.
Yeah,
In you
What
sort of
are you saying?
rocking up as a date
yeah.
to a Year 12 formal. You know what I'm saying?
How would you know, Rich? You never had a date to your formals.
That's true. Oh, instead we both went.
Both went stag.
Yeah.
In the photographs, did you get paired with someone else's date just to not make it look so sad?
Yeah. And then the next year I didn't go stag, but they left with someone else. So, and thank you for bringing all that.
Wow. That, despite the rehypnol in the drink, I don't understand.
And finally,
How you do so badly.
Tony becomes a professional kickboxer. Now, that's something I've promised
Hang on.
for a few
No,
months.
no. Let me have a look at that. No, rain dance exhibition.
Oh, yeah, rain dance
dance,
exhibition.
yeah.
And then professional kickboxing. So that one
Professional
involves you a little bit, Tone.
Kickboxing.
And if the alternative strategy just to walk away, I think is complete madness.
Oh.
Absolute madness to do that.
Gee, Mr. Downer's against that. I wouldn't have thought that.
I wasn't expecting that.
And thanks to everyone who's been calling up. And I just want to clear up a few misnomers. That's probably a misuse of the word misnomer.
Yeah.
I don't
But
know
a
what
few
it is.
fallacies about this.
Whoa, I fucking fallacy? Isn't
See,
that,
people are going to think,
that got
oh,
another meaning as well?
Are you thinking about the SBS show Fallacy Stories from the Sea?
see, now there's some big figures.
Yeah.
You seen the Reg
and Nash and Taz.
Oh, the Taz figures on Thalas are massive.
If you're in Devonport and you're not watching Thalasar Stories of the Sea, you're an outcast.
You see, we're talking about shows on SBS, and you might think maybe that's the reason we're being shown the door, because it's not very popular. I decided to get out our ratings figures just to make sure
Did you, Tone?
that was the case.
Yep.
And have a look at this. In Melbourne, Triple M comes 5th in the ratings,
Oh, yeah.
whereas get this, for the 2 hours it's on, the station rises to 2nd position. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, Sheffield Shield crowd in here. That's nice.
That's the biggest one we've ever had.
Hey, guys.
In Sydney, Triple M comes a healthy 9th on the ratings ladder. For the 2 hours Get This is on, those figures rise to 5th position.
Look at that. Someone scored a gutsy 37 against the Bushrangers.
Brisbane, Triple M is the 4th rating station. Well done. But for the 2 hours Get This is on, it jumps to 2nd place.
Look at that. 2 for 36 versus the Sandgropers.
And Triple M Adelaide 6th on the ladder. But for the only 1 hour that we're on, Triple M rises to 3rd in the ratings.
Oh, look at that. 46 not out.
So,
on a turning pitch.
I just don't want to think that it's all this Thalasar and Sagal talk that's turning people off, because clearly it's bringing people in.
That's right.
And a lot of people have been calling in going, oh, it's just because Triple M want to play music. They're just obsessed with music. No, let's be fair. That is not the case. I have the Sunday Age from yesterday in front of me.
Great.
And we have, it describes Triple M's Get This as so popular, the Austereo network hardly knows what to do with them.
Well, that's kind of like my school days, I guess, because apparently we're so popular that they don't want us and no one wants to hang out with us. That's the way I saw my year 12. I'm so cool that no one wants to be my friend because no one wants to be,
But let's just
Never mind.
blow this Thalasar, as we're calling it, about music out of the water, because here we have Guy Dobson, the Group Program Director for the Triple M Network, and he says, and I admire him for this, in Sydney and Melbourne, you can turn to 3 or 4 radio stations and hear the same songs. So it's what's between the songs that's our point of difference.
Erectile dysfunction ads.
Wow, is that how you're going to be doing the sound effects when you no longer have access to our computer?
I know. I'm
That's
just
pretty
gonna be
good,
Living in a
Rich.
dump master going, how come? Assault to himself.
Do the horn. Do the chunky chunka horn.
Who's the mad guy in the dumpster? I don't know. He used to panel a radio show.
They say he used to panel a radio show.
He was so popular they didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably something about the Australian psyche that I don't know.
Gee, Ruddy.
Ruddy.
Although he's copying it today because, of course, in case you haven't heard, the lesser announcement over the weekend was that we're having an election. How weird is this? Our last 6 weeks' time exactly out for the election campaign.
We should run for a seat. This is a good platform.
Free time now.
I'm sure there'd be some paperwork involved.
Do you reckon?
I think
Can't
there'd
you
be
just
a
roll into Eden Monaro with a few sandwich boards and have a crack?
That's where it's happening, Eden Monaro. But look at this in the paper today. Obviously, the Murdoch press are retaining their fierce independence. Just taking a core sample. Here's the Herald Sun down in Melbourne. On the front, John Howard, I want you.
Oh, I don't. Well,
And down in the corner, smaller picture of Rudd. And me too.
nah, that's pro Rudd.
They're pushing the me. That's apparently what he's done. The Prime Minister has announced he's running for the job of Prime Minister again. And Ruddy's gone, me too.
Yeah, come
I'll
on.
have a bit of that. See, he copies everything.
Jesus, Ruddy.
The Liberals are running for office, of course. Ruddy has to run for office.
Look, Ruddy's already gone into politics, copying Howard.
Yeah.
Tried to run a major party, copying Howard.
And then in the Australian, and I love reading their cut and paste, which is just a random sample of articles from other newspapers.
From around the world.
There's no political agenda to it at all.
Well, they couldn't be.
What's their main story today? Columnist Piers Ackerman in the Sunday Telegraph on what you see in Kevin Rudd is not what you get.
So they've gone all the way to the Sydney Telegraph. How would they even get a copy of that?
I don't know.
Couriered over by Sherpa? Dragged through the
what
snow?
is the campaign heating up yet, Ed? I know
Well,
you've been out on the streets.
Yeah, Vox popping and locking all weekend.
What have you learnt?
Well, the young say it's time for change, Tone.
Do they
I
really?
mean, perhaps the Murdochs are right behind old Mr. Howard, but the kiddies aren't getting involved.
Oh, really?
Look at this, various P-platers with interesting haircuts, giving the thumbs up to K-Rudd for 07.
Right, okay.
And it's not, the Liberals have got to do something, Richard.
Yeah.
You know, they need a pitch
I see what you're
to
saying.
young voters. So we thought maybe we could help them out.
Oh, okay.
Hey, younger voters, we know that you think that Kevin Rudd is all that and a bag of salted potato snacks, but hold your Facebook's comments for 1 minute. The Liberals are a lot cooler than you think. We've been down with the latest words like hip, emo, and...
Complete madness.
Oh, thanks, ADOW. And there ain't no party like a Liberal party with DJ Costello on the wheels of steely economic policy, Christopher Pine's in the corner, putting away Pims and Lemo like it ain't no thang, and then there's John Ye Winston, dropping crump like it's 9-6 all over again. Ya heard?
He is very crunked up. Is that the kind of coverage we're going to get over the next 6 weeks?
Cut through, right to the core of the issues.
I want people to be sitting at home going, yeah, that's fine, Bongiorno, that's fine, Oaks. But what does Cavalier say? What's the Marsland verdict? And, of course, the topic today is simply new jobs for the crew from Get This. Now, here's how ugly, here's how Larry Sanders, the radio industry really is within 24 hours of us getting the arse. I understand people from the station were already having conversations with you Ed, along the lines of, so, mate, do you know Peter Hellier at all? You got much of a relationship with him? I'm not. The corpse isn't even out of the building, and they're already going through my pocket, seeing what they can help themselves do.
I make that stuff up to try and keep sizzle going, Tone.
This is like, I'm Tony Soprano, and I've been whacked, and at the funeral, Phil Leotardo is asking you, Paulie Walnuts, if you want to come over to the other side.
All right. Paulie Walnuts.
It's pretty ugly.
Yeah.
But
it was Richard who said that, so...
sure, fair enough.
Yeah, true.
Come and try some lotion at my joint. But, okay, that's fair enough. That's true. I mean, everyone
Thanks,
will
Tone. I'll be off.
have to find some new jobs.
See you, mate.
See you, Tone.
What are we qualified to do? What sort of... I mean, I'm only trained really, initially forklift driver, then typographer, doing mostly work that's done by computer these days, or a 9-year-old with Photoshop.
Either way.
I can draw the Superman logo better than anyone else at my school. Although there's probably a computer program that does that.
Okay. So forklift driver, that's the front runner at the moment.
That's the front runner at the moment. I can pick up a 50-cent piece with one of the blades and my eyes shut.
What?
With a forklift, that's really...
that's pretty good.
You don't get into the union, to the guild, unless you can pick up a 50-cent piece with a blade.
Pretty good.
Very good at highlighting bits and pieces in the paper.
Yeah,
And
you
going
are
through
good at that.
the
Certainly a skill.
So maybe something... Oh, it's a pity the Stasi are no longer operational.
I would have been great with the Stasi, because not only am I good at highlighting documents with a pink thing, I've got all the gear they used to wear.
Absolutely right.
I saw that film. What was it called?
The Lives of Others.
The Lives of Others. I can find some grey polyester slacks, a grey bomber jacket, and some grey zip-up shoes.
Zip-up shoes.
And just lurk around the streets, writing things down.
It's pretty much what you're doing now. Okay.
All right, it's the Stasi for me. What about you, Ed Cavalier?
Well, all right.
Being poached for the Peter Hellier program?
No. By Richard. Thanks very much for the vote of confidence, Rich. So I've done an art history degree at university.
Well done.
So I'm qualified to look at things.
Wow.
That's...
What did you learn? What did you learn in art? How many years did you do art history?
Okay, it was a 3-year degree. I got it in just a few days, under 4.5 years.
Wow.
And if you show me a Botticelli right now, boom, I'll pick the cherubs. I'll pick the cherubs right out of it.
What about the golden section? Do you know about the golden section?
No.
Well, that's day one in art history, isn't it? The golden section.
I didn't do art history.
What are you talking about?
I know a little bit
Isn't that a
about
Chinese restaurant?
Yes, that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. I need to see the certificate of yours.
All right.
Do you know what a painting is?
Yeah. It's them things up on the wall and that. Sometimes got boobs in them. The good ones do anyway.
The University of Ralph magazine.
Pre-Ralphalite paintings.
Every time a painting would go up on a slide that had some orcs in it, someone very quietly would go, "Cool, that's classic, innit? Cool, that's a masterpiece."
Well, you want to come and check out Leonardo's booty bank?
Yeah. Cool, blimey.
Mr. Marsden, do you have any qualifications whatsoever?
I did a tiny little bit of psychology at university.
Really?
And one of the things that you have to study early in the piece is team behaviour or mob behaviour or in animals. So you go and observe seagulls when you go and chuck bread at them.
All right.
And so you mark down who's the dominant one, who seems to be female, who's male, who's at the back getting the sympathy vote with the crooked leg. Mm-hmm. You know that one?
Okay.
Because that one's almost like a very powerful seagull. I could go back and do that because I really enjoyed that.
You could make all those same observations in the programming department here at the station.
Who's got a wonky leg out there?
Okay.
Who's going for the bread?
So what you're saying is...
And also, I need things to press. I need buttons to press. What can I do? You know, that's an itch that needs to be scratched.
Yeah, I know. Rich.
You've been pushing Ed's buttons for 2 years, I'll say that.
So hang on, Rich. So what you're planning to do is on the final day of Get This, thanks guys, thanks for everything, thanks for the memories, Fall Out Boy style, wander out into the car park, plonk yourself down and observe seagulls.
Great. I could do that for the rest of my life.
God.
6 hours wasn't long enough.
It's an executive position.
But who's going to employ you?
And you can freak out people by tossing the bread near their feet so the seagulls come near their feet and scare them.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a great day.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, Animal Kingdom terrorism for Mr. Marsland. What should we do next? Give us a call.
Go, Nick.
Oh, well, it's pretty simple. I think you, Ed, should, further your career with quality control of mincing machines.
Oh, yeah. Problem with me, Nick, is I can't help myself when I get around them.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's why you're the perfect candidate for them. Richard can be like a telemarketer, like introducing himself, like, I'm Richard. You won our new program. Yeah.
Very good.
That'll shift some units.
That's very
And
good.
good old Tony can be in the Guinness Book of World Records, the first person who's actually started his LOLO collection.
Yeah, that's true. I did actually take note of those commercials that say, have you started your LOLO collection yet? That's very true.
Thank you, Nick. Good ideas all. Michael's on the line. How are you, Michael?
I reckon you should join the New Zealand Police Force.
Oh, yes. Well, we are, polite young. Do you think we're polite enough for the New Zealand Police Force?
Oh, I think you are, especially Richard.
Excuse me, sir, you're under arrest.
How come?
No, careful. I just want to move you out of the way of oncoming traffic, sir.
Assault!
Oh, no.
Assault! You touched me, officer. Sorry.
See,
How was that, Michael?
Oh, that was pretty good. I'd also like to say that, Ed, if you check Facebook tonight, there will be a Bring Back Get This group.
Thank you very much.
We haven't gone.
Which one of the, well, not yet, which one of the 6 Facebook pages are you talking about?
It's a new one.
Yeah, the newest.
The
There will
newest
be one up.
The 6 competing ones.
And hello to all the dudes on Ed Cavalier's a Spunk. Lovely to have you on board,
That's a top,
gentlemen.
Thanks, Michael.
That's a top place to hang out online.
Thanks, Michael.
Thanks, Michael.
G'day, Matthew. How are you?
I thought Tony might be able to join his good mate, Tony Martino, in the lucrative car washing business.
Oh, yes. The bikini car wash, I think in Melbourne, is run by a man called Tony Martino.
And then having Edward and Richard as some of your investors.
Oh, well.
The shareholders.
Shareholders, I think you mean. Look, contrary to what you might think, Matthew, I'm not as stacked as some of the ladies over there. We're going to have to maybe get boob jobs, which would be a lovely look for Richard and I.
Well, okay, but I don't know what I can bring to the nude car wash caper that Tony Martino isn't already.
Yeah, very true. Does have it locked down.
Okay, who's got another suggestion?
God.
Thanks, Matthew.
Hi, Simone. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Excellent. What are we going to do?
I think that you, Ed, could be a Katie Leung impersonator and go around doing tribute shows at local pubs.
Very good. Now, have you been to the Get This website? Which
I have.
I'm assuming hasn't been taken down yet.
No, it's still there.
And you've run the comparison. It's pretty good, isn't it?
They are very alike. Very
I
alike.
still think we can get a better comparison photo for that shot of you with
there's some good ones on there.
Oh, we're always striving for quality here at Get This.
Yeah, thanks very much, Simone.
No
That's
Simone.
a wonderful idea.
Are you there, Xander?
Yes, I am, guys.
What's your idea?
As sad as it is that the show's ending, it's a good chance to bring back Richard's sex show.
Oh,
Now, what was that? Did you ever hear that show?
I think I did a few times, but I'm not sure.
That was the last time Richard got sacked from the network. What was
right.
the name of that show?
It was called The Late Date Show, and I think the Think I Did Hear It is the biggest demographic. That's the one that we really honed in on during the Late Date Show.
really?
I hear it was more date than late. And who was it? Bessie Bardot?
With Bessie Bardot.
And Fruity Talk.
Yeah.
Well, actually, guys, I think a better co-host would be Phil Spector.
Oh, wow. Wow.
The Late Date Show.
Going out with
Exactly.
a bang.
Nicely said.
Hi, Josh. How are you?
Fluffers for Warwick Kappa.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah,
All right.
definitely.
That's good fluff. That is a horrifying thought, Josh.
Surely, he'd be the sort of bloke who'd do his own fluffing, wouldn't he? Be self-fluffing.
I did hear an interview, didn't he say he could go something about his stamina and the ability to go for hours on end?
Yeah. Have you got that clip from Jeff Fennick where he describes, for those who don't know who Warwick Kappa is?
The guy that was in that magazine getting up his missus.
There you
Lovely.
go. See, that's the kind of direct communication I think we want to see on the election
If
trail.
you can't trust the guy getting up his missus, Who can you trust?
Beautiful work, Josh. Do we have time for one more?
Yeah, we do. G'day, Jude. How are you?
Guys, I'm so sad to hear you're leaving.
Hey, that's okay,
I
Jude.
love you guys. I hope you'll come back in some sort of waveform.
Come do it at your place.
Please.
So,
We even have a radio show here at the university. You could come on.
We're going door to door on the back of a trailer, Nick Kershaw style.
That
is
was
the
also
plan.
So what are we going to do, Jude?
Well, I thought Gladiators are auditioning at the moment.
Oh,
so
you're right.
That's an opportunity to get you on the screen.
The new Gladiator.
They need a new Vulcan.
Yeah, that's true. Or a new political party, because we'd love to see you guys in Parliament.
Do they have a Bay Marie in the upper house? I'm not sure whether Ed will be wanting to get on board that, but the Gladiators, because it is the beginning of a long and lucrative career joining the Gladiators.
Oh, look at Vulcan. He's kicked on. Yep. He was in a film, wasn't he? Wasn't he one of the bad guys in Talk the Walk or something?
Walk the Talk, I think, possibly.
Walk the Talk?
With The Rock?
No, not The Rock. This is the one with...
Was he holding the giant cotton bud ear thing?
No.
Was he in a giant wheel?
See, this is the kind of sparkling repartee they don't want any more of. I can't
That's
believe
what I'm
it.
going to miss.
Stand the Gladiators.
Well, we will be coming to your house.
Good. You're
Very
invited
soon.
any time. Noble Park North.
All right,
Place
thanks
to
very
be.
much, Judy. What's our decision? And because it's our last 5.5 weeks, they're all coming out of the woodwork. All of our co-hosts for the last 2 years. Here's one. It's Laurence Leung.
Hello, sir.
Hello, how are we?
Good to see you.
I'm good. It's really sad to hear that there's only 5.5 weeks to go. Is it going to be like, remember Chances on Channel 9?
Oh, we went crazy.
Yeah, they went crazy towards the end when they found out that they were getting axed. All the writers wrote in vampire plot lines and zombies and things.
Well, that's,
is this going to be like that?
That's why you're here, Lawrence.
We're travelling through time.
Yeah.
Time travel would be good.
That'd be lovely.
Let's have some of that.
Well, where would you go, Tone?
Oh, I reckon the early 1970s.
Yeah.
What, no?
Set of Batman, dude. You go back to be on the set of Batman, the television.
Yes. Back to 66 to 68.
Yeah, to be one of King Tut's goons.
Ooh, Biff Powell, wham.
And flump, an actual word
right.
seen recently.
Flump.
I'm talking about your reviews in Edinburgh because a lot of the well-reviewed Australian acts over there, the news doesn't seem to make it back here. But I was on the internet and you were picking up 4- and 5-star reviews for your show.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I guess it doesn't get reviewed here so much in Australia, the news from Edinburgh, because it's not really that important. It's just a couple of comedians doing their thing overseas.
Yeah, but they're Aussies. They're Aussies.
That's right, but really what it is, the Edinburgh Festival is like the largest comedy festival in the world. So for us, it's like the Olympics. You know, we hone our routines in our own countries. You know, we do our performance enhancing. Practice workshops in front of audiences.
Understood.
And then we, go to the other side of the world and stand on the world stage and hope that our Australian comedy kind of translates to the Scottish, English, and international audiences.
And what was the show? This was Laurence Lewin Learns to Breakdance.
That's right.
And I know you've been doing it for a year, but explain it to people who haven't heard.
Well, Laurence Lewin Learns to Breakdance, it was kind of this project that I had to try to outcool my older brother.
That's right, your older brother.
Yeah, Dennis, the bass guitaring older brother. And so I decided to set myself little tasks, kind of challenges to outcool him in different ways, and it culminated in me learning to break dance. And I still am learning. I'm terrible at it. I've been doing this show for a very long time. I've met legitimate break dancers when I went overseas. I thought I'd be, the only young Asian guy in the UK doing a show about breakdance.
But no.
No, there were legitimate Korean and Japanese breakdancers doing these full shows, and these guys were like the best in the world.
Right.
Breakdancers, throwing it down in the streets of Edinburgh and, doing their stuff in front of the crowds, and they were just awesome. And then here I was, with the fake idea of doing faux breakdancing. And, I think I was a lot funnier, but boy, they could breakdance.
Yeah.
But it is in Edinburgh, it seems to me, that especially since Dave Gorman started doing those shows where he tracks down everyone else called Dave Gorman, etc. The bar is raised every year to come up with a nutty concept for a show that you can sort of put on a poster. What sort of stuff were people doing this year?
This year, people were, they're getting all sorts of things. Like people were doing things like, saying that they'll get married.
Oh, yeah, every night.
Every night. Well, they'll try to meet their future wife in their shows.
Right, yeah,
a lot of people doing sort of those gimmicky type of shows. But then again, there were a lot of shows where people were just doing very personal stories as well.
See, there's so much of that. And yet I remember 15 years ago when you could be the talk of the festival by sticking a skyrocket up your ass and playing There's No Business Like Show Business.
Not bad.
And that was Chris Liner. That was the talk of the festival in 1991.
I'd still bring him in, Tone.
Stephen Burkhoff's Macbeth. What time's the guy with the cracker up his arsehole?
Having said that, there are shows that are kind of like that people just go, I want to do Shakespeare, but in the style of rap, or I want to do interpretive version of a movie, and there people doing all these hybrid shows.
What do you mean, like movies on stage?
Yeah, movies on stage.
One-man Star Wars, that kind of thing.
Yeah, one-man Star Wars, or American high school groups bring over these musicals, and it just so happens there's like 15 American high schools doing exactly the same musical, Guys and Dolls.
Is that
What,
right?
in high school?
Yeah.
So like the
they fly over.
Beaverton Senior College comes over to Edinburgh to do Guys and Dolls.
Yeah.
And who do they think's going to go?
Americans. Because the American audience members, they don't see anything else but fellow Americans.
That's right. And now, just one thing on that Shakespeare in modern dress. I think I read somewhere, and this could be wrong, that Shakespeare was always done in modern dress. That it was never actually done in the period of which it was set.
Is that right,
That
Tone?
for centuries after centuries it was modern. Look, these pantaloons, they might look olden days, but here in the 18th century, that's modern dress.
Oh, I see what
I'm
you
not
mean.
dressing
Wow.
16th century.
No, I see what
So the gimmick of doing Shakespeare in modern dress is nothing new at all.
Okay.
There you go.
So cop that.
See, educational viewing.
What about
here on the M's?
What about the gimmick of doing Reservoir Dogs as a stage play, as they did at my university?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Tarantino was fine with that, was he?
He was absolutely up for it. And when it came to the bit where you had to cut the ear off, obviously you can't cut someone's ear off.
No.
The union will go nuts. So what they do is they had one of those like a lolly lips that they dipped in jelly, and there'd be a lot of screaming, and then they'd throw it at the audience and be and then someone would just pick it up and start eating it.
See, that is
that's
not
brilliant.
But that's not traditional student theatre because there's no women in Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, that's right.
They changed some parts.
So they're still cracking on opportunities.
Mrs. Brown.
You're absolutely right.
Miss
Yeah,
Black.
it was 50-50.
Was it really?
Because to get a play up at university, you got up and said, I'm doing Glengarry Glen Ross. Traditionally, it's an all-male cast, but I'll be casting half women, half men. Who's single? Hands up. Right.
Followed by the vagina monologues with guys.
Yeah, of course.
Mrs. Brown, you've got a lovely flesh wound here on Get This. We're talking secret skills today on Get This.
yes.
Do you have any that the public don't know about?
I have two secret skills. One of them is it's kind of like my superpower. I can enter a party, and I can always tell when two people really, really like each other.
Oh, really?
Before they even realise it themselves.
Is that right?
And so many of my friends over the years, I can tell when people are going to hook up before they realise it themselves. And they're together, and I'm never wrong.
Now, Laurence,
Yes.
does your skill,
Mhm.
does it only extend to people who end up in relationships, or what about meaningful half-an-hour relationships?
Oh, both. It's all in the body language. I can tell it in the body language. It's just like reading a book. The problem is I can't tell it for myself.
Okay.
But, because I'm not outside of my body watching myself from a distance.
Well, not
but
yet.
You need a camera crew following you at all times. Then review the footage. Oh, yeah, that's working.
I think if there's a camera crew following me around, that's surely not good for the hot times.
That's just one. What's your other secret skill?
My other secret skill is I can make my voice sound like the Predator from the movie The Predator.
Oh, this will be.
Oh, okay. Can we hear that? That's either the predator or a very satisfied kitten.
Either way, we'll take either.
Wow. As I've demonstrated many times on the show, have you got the sound effect?
Cool.
I can do the guy from the Car City Eyes. Here we go. Ouch, quite hurts.
Wow.
Crazy eyes.
Worth it, though.
I want to buy a car off you now.
That's right. People with ocular problems know a lot about what's going on under the bonnet. I find secret skills. I'll tell you what else. There's no need for this skill anymore. Making a VHS compilation tape. You know, when you're going from one VHS machine to the other and pausing it exactly so you don't get any ads.
Really?
But you don't clip the start of the scene.
Whoa.
Just getting in that black. And, you know, it's harder than it looks because people who've tried to do this over the years will know as you get further into a 3-hour tape, the lag time increases and you've got to delay the pause. Like in the last 5 minutes, if you're trying to add something, there's something like a 20-second lag because you hit pause, it winds back.
Wow, what manner of witchcraft is this?
It's very, very useless in the 21st century, but give it a...
Incredible.
Not much call for it now.
Yeah, DVD technology.
But that's what we're looking for, secret skills. Who's got one here, Cavalier?
Well, I can always tell if a neighbourhood cat is going to allow people to pat it or not. from far away.
How can you tell that?
They've got this look about them. I can always tell from here, 30, 25, 30 metres away. I can always tell from the body language of the cat whether it's going to allow me to go walk up and play with it, pick it up, give it a voice, kind of, around in its face.
See, if you could translate those skills to the ladies, imagine how your life would transform.
Imagine how much action I'd get.
And then Laurence could be there to confirm that there's something going on.
Man, we need to go to but I do actually want to take...
I could watch you approaching cats and see whether the cat loves you or not.
Yeah,
so it's very similar.
Well, I do want to take you to a party, Laurence, just to see if you can...
And I could just be there doing the Car City Eyes. That'd attract Mr. Marsland.
I've got a very good body clock, so in the middle of the day, if I'm not wearing a watch or whatever, I can sort of predict maybe it's about 8 past, 10 past 4, something like that. I think that's pretty impressive.
Pretty good, Rick.
But were all of you just thinking that up until the word clock, he was claiming he had a very good body?
Yeah, it was, actually.
Well, I mean, speaking of my body, the other physical thing that I can do, and I might have mentioned this on the show before, and that is that I can move my ears without actually touching them.
Okay, take the headphones
Everyone
off.
can.
Well, not everyone.
Sure.
Not many people have that skill.
Oh, it's where someone else touches them.
Yeah.
No.
So I've got to move away from
Okay.
the microphone because I'll feed back. But
Yes. They are moving.
They're not moving.
they are moving. They are so moving.
Your hair is
Your
moving.
hair's moving.
Yeah.
Well, it's a scalp thing. So
I get the feeling we've all just been asked on a date by Rich.
Hey, Richard, what time is it?
well, it's around. I reckon depends where you're listening, but I think maybe
He's looking at the clock.
25 to 4.
He looked at 3 clocks.
That was so subtle.
Glass from one clock to the other.
Three
Man who
room
can
full
tell
of
the
clocks.
time by simply observing a timepiece.
I have to get kicked out of casinos for that skill.
Oh, we did this a few weeks ago and people loved it, so they want to have another crack. Start a sentence with these words. In my day.
Yeah.
Oh, in my day.
Yes, Tone.
What with it? Because I love it. It's my favourite thing about working with you, Ed Cavalier, of many favourite things, is hearing you say in my day and then start berating the so-called young people.
The young people. They're everywhere. What with their fringes and boards of skate. In my day, Tone.
Yeah.
If you wanted to lose, lose weight or whatever, you just had to stop eating cakes and go running or something.
Yeah.
Listen to this.
The new way of
In
doing
your
it.
Woman's Day, they've got this new advice line. You send in, an email. They'll tell you what to do.
Right.
I'm thinking about undergoing gastric lap band surgery and like
Yeah.
to hear from other people.
I think Mikey Robbins had that.
And does it work?
Well,
It does, yeah. It can work wonderfully for some people.
But what if the band breaks?
Well, I mean, what do you mean? What, creative differences or something?
Okay.
I don't understand. One wants to do a solo career.
But
What, you instantly inflate to your former size? I don't think that's what happened.
really? You don't just hear a snap and then boing?
I'd like to
Nutty
think
Professor
so.
style?
Might just happen on the Sunday program one morning. There's a lot of people who've had this lap band surgery.
Yeah.
And the good thing is they lose a lot of weight.
Yeah.
The bad thing is they all look like they've just opened the Lost Ark and are beginning to melt.
Well, see, Tony, so in my day, that's what you had to do to lose weight. And also, you couldn't just write into Woman's Day. Have a listen to some of these other ones.
What have they got there?
I'm looking for a new way to attach a digital camera to my canvas sandals for a new documentary I'm making called When We Were Upskirting from R. Marsland, which is a bit much. And there's this one here. All my jokes are at the expense of my panel operator. Is my horrendous lack of skill becoming obvious? From E. Cavalier. That's really going to solve your own problems, people. Advice lines aren't going to help you.
Things have certainly changed. In my day, this is something I referred to in my book, Lolly Scramble, still available. Ask for them to order it in, people. Talked about something how in my day, when you wanted to watch colour TV, before there was such a thing as colour TV. Now, people think I was
Needed cellophane?
Wow, this
It's
is
sort of like that.
this is the way back machine now.
This is one of these things that I thought I was dreaming, and then I asked a few people, and it really existed. There was a screen you could buy that you could put in front of your black and white TV to make it sort of look like colour.
I think I know the thing.
And it was basically 3 bands. So the top band was sort of blue tinged, and the bottom band was green.
Red, green, blue, surely.
No, it was blue, nothing, green.
Blue, nothing?
So that it was all dependent, hopefully, on the idea you were watching a shot where there was sky at the top
Oh, and grass at the bottom.
and grass at the bottom. And then for that frame, it would be colour. But for anything else, it was just a close-up of someone's face. They had like I'm not sure what the flag is, possibly Kazakhstan.
There you go.
Like they'd painted themselves up.
Very nice.
Ludicrous device.
Okay.
Ludicrous.
I know, Tony.
But in my day, that were colour TV.
All right.
That were it.
Okay.
Mr. Marsland, in your day.
In my day, love and romance amongst teenagers in high schools
Yeah, keep going.
could blossom in a photography darkroom.
Oh, really? What happened there?
What happened to you?
Because it's dark, it's
No,
romantic.
yeah, whatever.
Oh, and there's chemicals, so
There's
they're
chemicals
slightly off their nuts, so you can
Exactly.
pounce.
And you can trick them into falling into your arms. But now, with digital cameras, there ain't no dark rooms anymore.
Oh, the kids don't know what they're missing.
Exactly.
Okay.
So with photography class, of course, it was. I mean, I went to a boys' school, so. But I mean, with photography class,
If it's dark enough.
it's a great area.
You know what I'm saying?
To socialise, exactly. Let's put on a
Game
wig
of
and
grab ass.
away we go.
So how many times did that work? How many times did things develop in the darkroom, Mr. Marsland?
Well, not for me, but I know for a few friends of mine.
You went to a...
They did photography because there might have been a couple of girls doing it, and it meant there's some darkroom stuff going on.
See, our producer is holding her hand up, and I can't tell whether she's saying that's been going for 5 minutes or just stop.
Please
stop talking about this.
Hello, Shane. How are you?
In my day, on the way home from school, you used to be able to get 3 potato cakes for 5 cents.
Bargain.
Oh, wasn't that good? What era was that? The
That
70s?
was, late 60s, early 70s.
Oh, what a time.
I do remember when cobblers were at 1 cent.
What's a cobbler?
What do you mean, what's a cobbler?
I know, because potato cake is called a scallop in other states as
A
well.
scallop or a scallop?
Scallop.
What's a scallop,
But
Rich?
what's a cobbler?
A cobbler is a small piece of confectionery which is chocolate on the outside with what? A mate?
Yep. Tackling the big issues.
No, with
Get this around the nation in the run-up to the federal election.
With caramel in the middle. I know that I had one. I know I did. Was that a dog treat? Was I getting fed dog treats?
There's probably...
My coat was very shiny.
There's 5 bags of food that I would need 2 hands to pick up
Okay.
in front of me.
G'day,
Surely.
Andrew. How are you?
Yeah, good guys. How are you?
You're well. Do you know what a cobbler is, Andrew?
Yeah, I do. That's a bloke that fixes shoes.
Okay.
There, see? Correct.
Now, all right.
Non-edible.
Start the sentence, mate.
All right, back in my day, bands had real names.
Oh, what sort of names are we talking about?
NCC, T-Rex.
Yeah.
Sticks.
Instead, we've got Limp Bizkit and Good Charlotte that sound like extras from Babe, Pig in the City.
Pig in the City's gone for Babe too.
Yeah, yes.
Well, that's it.
Do you remember our friend Parko from the Melbourne Coach? Do you remember his character in Babe 2?
Love Parko.
Who was he in the film?
Oh, geez, I wouldn't have a clue. I haven't seen the film, but Parko's a legend.
Who was he?
Nervous waiter?
Nervous waiter.
Absolutely right.
6 weeks filming for, I think, 2 shots.
Brilliant work.
Get this at the new time of 2 o'clock.
Or in Adelaide, 3 o'clock.
On the Triple M Network.
If you enjoyed this podcast, find out why people are saying this about DJ Dom, Triple M's online audio assassin.
He's an absolute moron, not even slightly funny. Please don't put him on again. Absolute wanker.
DJ Dom. Download the podcast now, triplem.com.au.